this up on
There we
YouTube
go.
and Twitch. Welcome to the Rock Talk Podcast, episode 5. 6 months since our last recording, dude. 6 months. Where have we been at?
This is crazy. We've been everywhere, man. I'm sure that we both have had a few ups and downs and random things going on, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, new job. Um, so I'll start. After layoff and brief period of unemployment, picked up a new job doing some employment services with veterans. Can't really go into much of what I do for or who I do it for because of the good old controlled media, right?
Yes. Yes.
Um, so, but yeah, been able to gainfully help veterans gainfully find employment. So it's been nice. How about yourself, man?
Well, let's see. I myself I was working at one point. Um, and then the job wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible, but the management was terrible. So I tried to hold it out, try to last, but um, um, you're gonna go ahead and get off the screen, off chat. We don't need you for promotion of our thing. Um, but the management just was terrible, man. Um, like I've never worked at a job where they ask me what what shift I want to be in, and then put me in the complete opposite shift.
Completely ignore it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
you gotta love that.
dude, like when I first started there, the people that work there, soon as I started there, like the first week, I actually started not training and all that stupid. But everything else, all I heard was everybody complaining about the management, and I'm just like, well, whatever. I've been around the block, seen a few things, and no, it was terrible, dude. So instead of just being the loudmouth veteran that I am and speaking how I really feel, I just was like, you know what, I'm done. Um, Maybe I'm not rich,
Back
and
to
I don't.
retirement.
Yeah, back to retirement for now. I got to finish my masters anyway, man.
Yeah, how much longer you got in that?
I think August of next year, I believe, I'll be done.
Nice.
But
So
then
big road trip,
winter's
road trip
coming.
for graduation.
What?
That's that big road trip for graduation.
Hey, I'm thinking about it. To be honest, um, because I think it's towards the end of August, so my girls will have went back home already. Um, but yeah, that's about it. Now winter's coming and seasonal depression's kicking in, and now I'm starting to lose motivation to do things, and I don't know, just one of them days.
So you're telling me the podcast came back at the right amount of at the right time in life,
Yes,
for sure. Same for
100%.
me. Life changes rapidly. Um, Going through some life changes here. Won't get into detail until everything is done and finalized. But you know that story. But we'll save that for another episode.
Right, right, yeah, yeah. We actually that'll make for a good one, seeing as we both have been through it a couple, at least once, maybe twice.
Yeah,
Twice
yeah,
for me, I know of.
yeah. So, man, how was the time with the girls? I really missed out on
It was
hanging out with you
it was
there.
short,
A lot
man.
of that.
It was short. I mean, I know it was like 8 weeks because, again, life happens and certain things what happened, and so I only got
Yeah,
8 weeks, but it went quick. I didn't. I don't even.
yeah. I feel you.
I don't even know what we did. I know we did a few things with the Wounded Warrior Project. So got to go to like an amusement park and indoor water park thing and some stuff like that. But it was like they were here and they were gone.
Right. It's crazy how that time just disappears. Like it seemed like no time. July rolled around and it was like, oh, okay. And then marching band started, and here and
Right.
that was never ending, always busy all the way through the end of October. So I was like, phew, caught a break last couple weekends, and kind of just whew, took a breather, you know what I mean, and just
Yeah. How was marching band?
cat. It was good. Kids they ended up rolling out about 10th in state, but they made it to that high level
Right.
with the changeover with the marching band director and everything else here. So it, it was a pretty good showing, especially for a new director, first year new director.
And they got 10th in state. I mean,
Yeah,
that's pretty
yeah.
badass.
My youngest boy is uh, was on the drum line, so his first year actually marching, and it came out really well.
Oh,
So
wow.
it was nice.
Yeah. Let's see. How how has work been going?
Busy man. Seems been doing a lot of events. We did did a lot of events. There's another one coming up with hiring heroes out at the local military installation. So that'd be a fun one. We've done some veteran stand downs for homelessness. Took place locally, so those were nice to get out and actually hands on, face to face help veterans facing crisis, help them overcome those, and
Dude,
throw some positive time into those.
right, what you're doing is freaking awesome, man.
Appreciate it, man.
It's
Um,
kind of hard to
some
find that
days it
stuff
feels,
around here, though, you know.
yeah, and that's the jobs for veterans state grant thing is nationwide. So, and usually the changeover's pretty high because people they get in, they start doing it, and they like it, and they go to a federal side and doing the same thing. So it's state level. It changeover is always there.
Right.
Just keep your eye out. I'm sure it'll pop up again.
Yeah. Well, I'm not just taking anything this time. Last time I thought it would be
No,
something that I would enjoy, getting my master's in child psychology, and it's like, oh, I can work with kids, and it was not even what I thought it was. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
the disrespect that I
That's
saw
that's
to these kids was just it was immaculate, dude.
yeah, and of course, there's a program near here. We talked about that a few times. That it's a lot of people do not recommend sending your kids to
Right.
these things or working
Yeah,
said thing.
yeah.
So
It's not what they made it seem, and that's okay. Um, I tried it, you know, got out of my house, tried it, and then realized that I like
yeah,
my
that's
house
what
more
matters.
right now, and I don't want to be out. I'm not gonna settle. I have standards, and it's not even a financial standard. Like, it's not even I want to make a certain amount or I want to do this. It's just a standard in general. Um, Either I
Oh,
want to
for
be
sure.
helping veterans or I want to be helping kids, and that job just was not doing it. So
Yeah. And oh, puppers, he had something to say.
yeah, yeah. There's two of them. They're in the other room. The wind blows, somebody moves, and they're ready to make noise. But it is what it is. At least they're in here with me.
Yeah. Uh, I know the temperature's starting to change outside. It was 30 something degrees this morning here. What's it like up there?
It's been cold. Um, Not necessarily 30 degrees right now. Right now it's 49 and mostly sunny. But I mean, what, last week I think it was, I had snow covering my deck. So,
Oh wow,
and I'm
it's
not
already
happy
that
about
time of
that. I
year,
don't
huh?
like that stuff. That stuff's gross.
Yeah, my dad thinks snow is a curse word here, so he doesn't like it either. But now he doesn't work out in it anymore.
Right. So let's see. We got in Twitch chat. We got Wisconsin Sam. How you doing, Sam?
What's happening, Sam?
See, it's been good. Get that. What you been up to, Sam? We'll give him time to talk. But I know we want to say some things for episodes because we're gonna start doing more now. But one of the biggest things about being busy as veterans, I mean, service members they get busy too, right? But they're busy generally with serving. But
Yeah.
as a veteran and being busy with life and everything, what have you been doing to help yourself mentally? Like, um, are you taking care of your well-being? I mean, like like I know what you're going through because we talk offline. I know things like that, but one of the biggest things that I've learned, especially going through certain things, is the moment we let our mental health or our mental well-being go is when we start getting that. And we all fight with demons anyway, right? Especially as veterans.
Yeah.
But when we add on the extra stress and the extra things, the demons start to win more. So, what have you been doing besides working and hanging with the kids to keep your well being? Like, are you practicing self care? Are you doing certain things in order to keep your mind clear?
Yeah. So the biggest thing that's helped, and I've spoke about it on previous episodes, was I went through CPT, which is kind of old. It's a it's a therapy technique that's used now to, uh, and it's a difficult technique. It's a difficult therapy, but it's really well as far as placing the tools in the toolbox. So I revert back to using those when I feel everything slipping, and then I just kind of remind myself, you know, everything is a learning and growth opportunity. So even though that some days you feel that slip, it's still, or you have that anger mentality or whatever else that's bothering you. I revert back to the worksheets, even thinking about it, and positive affirmations. It seems to be helping a lot. And I know a lot of people out there struggle, but seek the help. People are there for you for sure.
Yeah, yeah, but that's the thing is a lot of people they don't think they need the help. They don't know if they, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I got this, and I know civilians as they do it as well, but as veterans, that's what we're used to, right? Because well, when we were in, nobody cared, so it was either you do
Yeah.
this or you get this or this happens. But in now that we're not in and we're veterans, um, we need to be smarter. We need to open up our mindset that there is people out there to help, and I don't know if the VA is necessarily something that I would recommend going to, um, but it's something to look into. But as a
Yeah. Yeah.
person, like just with you, like I just want to make sure that you're doing good. See, now that I'm not working, well, working where I was because I was working for the state as well, but I don't know. I've been smoking a lot more, and well, basically every day, all day.
Yeah.
But
And
it doesn't make me lazy, right? Like I get things done, I do certain things, I do what I want to do when I want to do it. Whereas,
it just helps you. It helps allow you the ability to like free yourself from that pain and that mentality.
yeah,
And there are more and more studies that show that are coming out that back, medicinal uses. Else, Kentucky is a state that I never really thought would have actually showed up on the map as for using it for medical
yeah.
purposes, but they finally did.
Are they
So
working on the recreational side?
I don't know when that will happen or the about the time that it'll show up, but I know that they finally approved it to start this year in January. So, and I know I have been told that the medical card is pretty expensive.
Oh, damn. I know before Michigan legalized it for recreational use too, people were just going right into doctors and somehow getting, like, the doctors were just like, yeah, they give them a card. And I'm like, wow,
Yeah,
it's probably why Michigan decided to just legalize it recreationally too, just so that way. Because, I mean, well, one, they can make money off of it, and two, everybody was getting a card, so there was no reason not to. You know what I'm saying? Like I literally could have. I had a lot of people that were like, "Oh, well, I can recommend this person. You go to this doctor, and you tell them what you told me, and you'll have a card." And I'm like, "Why is it that easy?" And then now I'm just like, "Man, I freaking love it."
yeah.
And I,
And honestly, growing up, it never was a thing to even think about, or I never even got into it.
oh,
I know my oldest brother did a few times, um, it was never something that crossed my mind until you end up with a basket full of prescription pill bottles from the VA, and you're like, well, is there something else out there that provides the help
yeah,
that others are seeking for
yeah.
without putting a lot of the poison that is approved to be put in your body instead of plants. You know what I'm saying?
You
So
mean like they send you a pharmacy, and then you've got a pharmacy sitting there wondering what you're gonna do with it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yep,
yeah. I put all that stuff in a bag and put it in the basement. Because really, I mean,
yeah,
just 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 and I don't even like, it's not the smoking, like the actual stuff. I have a pen, a couple pens, and I'm telling you, man, stuff gets me through the day. It's helpful too. Like, I didn't think that it would help with everything, but it literally helps with everything, mentally, physically. Just, I guess, always being in that state now, it just makes me feel like I am alive, really. Like I do things. Like, there's been a couple times, a couple days where I didn't smoke at all, and I was kind of just like, nah, whatever. I'm here. Here we are. Let's do it. And I'm not addicted to it. I mean, I've done this shit multiple times throughout my life, even when I was a kid, or well, teenager or whatnot. It's
mm-hmm.
not like cigarettes where I can't fight that addiction, but I can, just not ready to fully. Like, literally, I could throw these pens away and I would be okay. But now that I realize that it helps, that's not something that I'm going to give up and go back to
Yeah.
swallowing pills.
Now, do you think that you being in this or smoking marijuana or the whatever you want to call it medicinally, do you think it actually help curb the nicotine cravings, or
No,
have you noticed a difference?
no, it doesn't do anything for
No
me.
difference.
I mean,
Oh, okay,
when I want to
gotcha.
smoke a cigarette, I'll smoke a cigarette. I don't
So
have the mentality right now to actually. So a biggest part about quitting, and we're not gonna get into this whole spiel about it because I have my
yeah,
opinions, others have theirs. In my mind, I don't. I mean, I know there are people that quit cold turkey, but I don't believe those people quit cold. They quit cold turkey because they wanted to, right? They had that motivation. They had that. I'm sure they had support on the side, but they had that motivation. See, I don't have the motivation to quit. There's times where I'm like, man, I need to quit smoking. It's getting expensive, blah blah blah. But then the times that I've tried to, I've noticed that I don't have it. I don't want to right now. I don't know if it's
yeah.
because
Oh,
it's some gives me something to do or it's a crutch. Um, do I think that I could, if I quit smoking, that the medicinal stuff would help? Yes, but at the same time, I don't want to quit. So mentally, I don't I don't want to quit, and you're not going to, no matter what people say.
yeah,
And a
yeah.
lot of
You
the people
definitely
that
have to
I've
be
talked
ready.
to that have quit cold turkey, a lot of them have they only smoked a few years. Like, you know, let's see, how old am I? I don't even know how old I am, but I've been smoking for since I was 13. So we're looking at 27 years.
Yeah, it's a big habit to it's a big habit to try to break.
It
And
is.
that mentality has to be ready for it too.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not. But I mean, if that's the worst I do, I don't drink. I mean, I do sometimes, but it's like very rare. So
Yeah,
if that's the worst that I do,
and
I
that's
think we're doing all
understandable.
right, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm pushing a year since I've fully committed, or not fully committed, but at least I'd say 99% quit alcohol. I'll occasionally have a drink here or there, but even then, it's been months since I've had that. You know what I mean? I think the last actual drink I had was July ish,
Dude,
and
that's
that's
awesome.
when my brother gave me some wine. So, but it's nothing. It's full fledged. Where I was drinking every day or felt like I had to be able to go to sleep or this and that. And
Yeah, like a
it's
normal veteran, binge drinking all the time.
yeah, yeah. Waking up drinking, going to sleep drinking,
Right, like,
sleep drinking while you're sleeping,
and it's sad though that
sitting there on the nightstand.
right, it's sad though that a lot of veterans and people in general, that's what they have to resort to. Mainly veterans because well, the VA doesn't really help with it. You know what I'm saying? Like they
No,
say
they
they
just give you
do,
another
but
substance to abuse.
right,
Is all it is. That's really what it is. It's another substance that they're like, oh, let's get you addicted to this versus this. This is better because it becomes it's FDA approved
yeah,
or you know what I mean. So
yeah, yeah. You know what FDA stands for, right? Wait,
no,
are we allowed to swear in this?
sure,
Yeah,
it's 18 plus.
you know what FDA stands for, right?
What?
Fucking dumbass approved.
It's that's true. I mean, it really is.
Don't come to my house though,
It's
people. Please. I mean, you can, but so you've been paying attention to current events or things going on out there?
yeah,
Yeah,
somewhat.
I try not to, just because I don't really. I mean, we have DD 214 blankets that keep us from having to worry about things. But
Yeah,
this world, man, this world is an awesome place. It's great.
yeah. I don't understand the want to constantly fight each other all the time. It's
Look,
like I finally found that peace. It's like I don't feel like fighting anybody
people
unless
get
I
bored,
absolutely
man.
have to.
They get bored.
Yeah,
What do you do when you get bored? You do random stupid stuff. No.
hold my beer shit, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, the hold my beer shit is a little outrageous.
Yeah, let's bomb a whole country.
Hey,
That's dumb.
that tiny country over there, that tiny country could take out quite a few different places without our help.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I was gonna say, and they're holding their own.
Like I said,
They've been they've been holding their own for a really long time.
hey, don't mess with their stuff. Don't mess with their religion and their families and everything, man. That's all it is.
Yep,
But hey,
really is, man.
I don't recommend people. Well, actually, uh, we who was I talking to? Who was it? You? No. This is the only thing about smoking a lot. Is my mind was already my memory is already short and messed up. I was talking to somebody. Oh no, it wasn't you. It was the other day though. We were talking about the military and how soft it's been getting, and
Oh yeah,
um yeah, like basically now you just throw dildos at people and it's gonna, you know what I'm saying? That's how soft it is. Instead of
yeah, it is, and it's
teaching these
been
or training these people to be fighters, we're training them to talk about their feelings and before I go any farther, talking about our feelings is good. That's what we're supposed to do, but not in the instance of going to war. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
and people getting offended and trying to fit in, and it's like, man, that's not what this is about. Like basic training, I'm not supposed to be wearing glasses that make me look cool and just things like that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
recommend
I've
anybody
noticed
join
that.
right now.
No, I mean it's pretty soft here lately.
You work
You know,
you work
we
on Fort Knox sometimes, yeah?
yeah, I do.
Yeah, what's it like over there?
Um, so you got high level command, like upper echelon. I think there's like 5 or 6 generals that actually are on Fort Knox. There's quite a bit. There's like 30 something command sergeant majors. A lot of full bird colonels. And during the summer, you get the cadets from ROTC programs from colleges come in and train. So that's not. It's definitely a garrison post, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was working when I was working. I was working on Fort Custer.
Oh, okay.
And that's basically all. Dude, I was watching people in uniform like just do. I mean, they weren't doing like super stupid stuff, but they just, I don't know. It was crazy because they all, um, I mean, there was like privates and stuff, and they were all full time. Like, I'm like, how are you a private? Like when I don't know. It was just weird because I'm on a base, but it's a base that's just people are just sitting in an office or just doing stupid shit, and it's like, what are we doing here? Like, either I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to get at. I know that I'm trying to get at something, but I can't get there right yet. Don't judge
I
me.
understand,
Don't
man.
tell me why.
Nobody,
Just
no
saying.
judgments.
I know what you're talking about. I understand. And seeing the stuff on
Yeah,
another base, it was just like, man, this is what I mean. If I could have stayed in, this is what I would want to do. Shit.
yeah, yeah. The easy life. You know, I was a, I was a leg. I was infantry, so it was constant rotations through ranges, field exercises. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it
you
was
you were a
not.
bullet chaser.
Yeah, basically bullet catcher.
And what'd you do out? How does that help you out in the real world?
You know, it's just a lot of things just don't bother me anymore.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
but that's the
There's
that's
not a
mentality wise, that's the way it is. But I mean, and that's a lot of things too with people. Like when I hear people talk about the military, and my first thing is, all right, well, what do you want to do in your military? I want to be infantry. Awesome. So let's say, okay, you go through your whole military career. You don't ever go to war, which is good. You don't die. You come, you stay alive. You make it through the military. What are you gonna do when you get out? Well, whatever the infantry does when they get out. So what are you gonna do when you get out? Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so why don't you think about a job in the military that will help you when you get out of the military? And they just look at me and they're like, well, yeah, but so and so that I know was infantry, and so I want to be infantry. And I'm like, I ain't saying nothing against infantry, man. That you're better than me. I'm not chasing a bullet. I'm good.
yeah,
But
no.
it doesn't.
So when I
Some
joined,
some jobs doesn't matter if you're infantry or not. You're still chasing bullets. But either way, like you got to have a plan. So go ahead.
yeah, so when I joined, it was more or less, I had this, childhood dream of, when you play soldiers and bad guys or whatever, that's what you did when was a kid. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna fulfill this childhood dream, which was fucking absolutely stupid. Uh, I should have got a job being smarter, doing something that would have gave me a better career outside without using a bunch of the benefits to suck up to learn said career that I've had to use.
Yeah.
Um, but with everything, life puts you in a place where you want to be and should be. And it's taken a while since the military, but I'm finally getting close to that place. You know what I mean?
Right.
Got a decent paying job. Uh, it's doing giving back and helping um, fellow veterans that's down on their luck, needing help finding that new career, whether it's accessing resources for employment, training, um,
Just
career
helping veterans.
readiness
Right.
assessments.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm on a good path, and a friend of mine's always there. I talk to Jacob quite often, or not as often as I should. He's been a little busy.
Right.
Just had a new baby.
Yeah, no,
So,
I saw that. That's awesome.
but yeah, he's we're always chatting back and forth about career advice for service members, post 9/11 service members, and it's and transitioning service members. So, and you still get that quite a bit. Whenever I talk to a service member at an employer day, or you know, that's referred to me and like, okay, so now that your time is coming to an end, what do you want to do?
Right.
Oh, I don't know. Well, we got to work on that plan now. And the cool thing with TAP right now, especially with the SFL TAP, which is Soldier for Life Transition Assistance Program, is you can now start that 2 years out from your ETS date. So you can go often and take advantage of those classes and learning and resume writing and all that good stuff.
Oh,
We
okay.
didn't have that back then.
Right. No, that's awesome
But
though. So
yeah,
that's what you do then. So you went from being the one that had no idea to being the one that, with your personal experience, you're helping them now. And
yeah,
that's awesome. I mean, that's something to be proud of, right? Some of these people come out of the military, and as soon as they're done, they don't know what they're gonna do. Oh,
sorry about that.
oh, you good? We good?
Yeah,
But I mean,
might as
that's good though. So you're doing what you're doing is something that's applaudable because you're taking your experience and going to them and saying, "Look, I've been there. I wanted to be infantry too. I was infantry, or I wanted to do this MOS. I wanted to do that." Not really thinking about what's going to happen when I get out. So I understand where you come from, and then you're helping them, and that dude, that right there, to be honest, that's amazing. It's amazing work. You're doing amazing work, and you're helping a lot of people. And some of those people that you help, you never know. You don't know what's in their minds.
yeah, and a lot of like there's I won't get into too much details, give away or say anything. There's a service member that's potentially getting discharged early because he was going through a divorce and was awarded custody of his children. So the failure to have a family care plan is one of the dischargeable offenses
Yeah.
with the Army. So,
Hmm.
which is fair because if you don't have somebody to take care of your family when you leave, then what is there for you to do?
Right.
So the So and I was like, so what are we gonna do? How can we help you get stabilized? And then, the sad part is things like this. They give you time to correct, but at the end of it, it doesn't really give you. The Army doesn't really give you a hey, here's a definite out date. Like, so you have this long to plan.
Right.
So, it's like, okay, we're trying to plan, but we also don't have a plan because we can't plan. You know what I mean? So it makes it even difficult for them as
Right.
far as like, okay, so I can't establish this period. This is what's needs to happen. So why don't we just go ahead and be like, okay, you don't have a plan. We're gonna give you, 6 months. Boop. Here's your out date for 6 months. Let's start your leave in 3 months, and You have 3 months on active duty to finish getting cleared, help get a plan. Because granted that you can go and start your TAP program 18 months or 24 months out, it's still hard to make that plan because what you're planning for, what job you're planning for, may not be available in 24 months. You know what I mean? When you finally are able to hit that out date, you still don't have. It's hard to plan that long of a distance, but it
Right.
also helps to start gearing towards that training, what you need to learn for said industry and career.
Right.
So that's the one thing I wish that the powers that be would change is like, okay, on if you can't establish this in X amount of time, then let's start out processing and give you a hard date. Because without a hard date, it's hard for a lot of these guys to be like, okay, yeah, I can start a work on this date and be available on this date.
Right. And yeah, yeah, makes sense. Um, I had something that I was gonna say, but then I lost it.
That's what happens when I talk too much.
No, 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 no. It happens when your mind's constantly moving. That's what happens.
Yes.
So I don't even remember what I was gonna say. Oh, I know what I was gonna touch on because you were talking about something about transitioning basically, and going, like a certain date, a certain thing. So I know a lot of people that, like, I've talked to a lot of vets recently that had no idea about VR&E even. I mean, even when I'm like, well, it used to be called Voc Rehab, but now it's VR&E. And they don't know about that, and that's what I'm using. I mean, I'm getting my master's. They're paying for it, right? So I think that's something that a lot of veterans or transitioning service members need to be, because I didn't know about VR&E or Voc Rehab like until, what was it, when I was, I was fighting the VA because they were trying to decrease me instead of doing the right thing.
Yep.
And I saw it. I went to vet in the office, the Veteran Affair office or whatever, and I saw something about, it said VR&E and veteran readiness and employment. I'm like, what is that? They're like, you've never heard about that? I'm like, I've been out for quite a while. No, I've never heard about this. I have no idea what this is. So here I am, 40 years old, getting my master's because 10 years ago I had no idea about it. You know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah,
think
and then
so.
then
Good.
I've seen a lot of service members, transition service members, to caveat off that, not take advantage of the BDD, which is benefits upon delivery of discharge.
Right.
So they're not going through their out processing VA claim stuff. They're just bypassing it. It's like, dude, you have to take advantage of that
Yeah.
because that'll open up so many extra doors.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing is a lot of us didn't know that, and now that we do, now we can start passing it on. Because I mean, there's been a couple that after I told them about it, they went and looked into it, and they're like, oh, I got this, because I'm pretty sure if I had to go through like an orientation thing with like a lot of people, it was like a Zoom call or something, or some team meeting or whatever,
Yeah.
and dude, there was like at least 40 plus people all there. So they said they have to go through that, and then they're like, and then I believe I'm gonna get my own VR&E person, and I was like, well, yeah, but the thing is I think you have to be approved through VR&E, so you have to meet certain requirements, because regardless of the VA says that they have this benefit for you or they have this resource for you, there's still requirements, which I thought just serving in general, not necessarily going to war, but serving in general was the requirement I needed to get to have help. But you have to have certain requirements. So I've told these people, and it's nice to see people coming to me and being like, "Hey, man, thank you for that information, because without you, I wouldn't have known that." Or even people that have used up their post 9/11 GI Bill, that didn't know about VRE, and I don't know. Like I think I use most of my post 9/11. I think I have like 2 months left. Um, but I mean that's still 2 months. Maybe what if I wanted to go 2 months to take a couple classes? I still have that to work with. But no, if they're not necessarily telling everybody about VRE or Volk Rehab or this and that, or they're just putting pamphlets out but not saying anything, not everybody looks at the pamphlets at the VA. I think it's something that needs to be brought to more attention to people, so that way they understand, veterans understand, or transitioning service people need to know. They need to know that VRE is there, because I mean you get paid to go. They pay for all of it, your books, everything.
Yeah.
How can you pass that up? I mean, I know a lot of people don't like college or going to school. I mean, you can go to trade school, you can go. You don't have to just go to college, but how do you pass up that opportunity? And if you don't meet the requirement, okay, then you go to your post 9/11 or whatever bill you got. But why would we not want people or veterans and transitioning service people to know about this? Like everybody should be talking about it. Hey, dude, VRE is awesome, man. They did this. I'm pretty sure I was told that if I really wanted to go get my doctorate, they'd pay for that too. Am I going
Really?
to? Probably not, because I'm tired of school and I've been in school for way too long. But if I wanted to, I could. Like you, and then right after I'm done with school and I get my last degree, then that's when they're going to start working with me and helping me find a job position in that career if I haven't found one already. Um, but I'm not at that portion of it, so I can't say how good it is or how bad it is. I can tell you for the most part, I've not really had any issues. Um, I guess there's certain things like the VRE person, takes forever for them to respond back. Um, I've been through. I'm on my third representative now. Second or third, I don't remember. But other than that, I mean, I don't really need anything. All I need to know, like, you know, the only few emails I've sent is basically, hey, uh, I decided I want to do my master's. Okay, so we did that. I had to redo my little plan, because obviously it's going to take me a little bit to get my master's. Certain things though, like I've talked to people that are using VRE and they're like, yeah, I told my VRE rep that I needed a new computer desk, and they're like, within a couple weeks I got a new desk, a chair and stuff. And then I'm like, all right, well, I mean, I kind of do need a new chair, and I need one that's going to help my back. And I sent my representative an email, and I get an email back that said, well, you have to have a prescription from your doctor. And I'm like, what? I mean,
Yeah.
you,
When I got
you,
my
you
chair, I had to get a statement from a medical provider saying that it would generally improve the ability to focus on my work because of the lessening of the back pain.
yeah, but and then so you had to do it too. See, and I've talked to a couple that are like, no, I didn't have to do any of that. I just sent my rep an email, and they said, all right, well, we're working on sending you one. And it's like, why is it that some people have to go through this and that, and other ones are just like, yeah, I can't
Well,
really tell if maybe they're lying, or they just don't want to talk about that part, or if it
the biggest
just
problem I have with it is it's so hit or miss. So even doing the job I do, where I go to events and have to stand and everything else, it obviously hurts. But even with this go around, I try to get back in to get some schooling finished.
mm-hmm.
And the rep that was assigned to me was not a veteran, absolutely not a veteran, and he denied me getting back into the program. So it's hit or miss for everybody. My last one, when I was in the program, the last one was great. She helped me get everything I needed, took care of everything I needed. But this one,
wait, you
this
had a
last one,
VRE rep that wasn't a vet?
yeah,
Oof, I don't believe in that either. And that's the thing is, uh, I've applied for a couple of jobs working with vets here in Michigan, And one of them that I talked to, he wasn't a vet, and I was like, well, how, what? Like you
Yeah.
can't help. I mean, you can help, right? Don't get
You
me
just don't
wrong. People that
understand.
aren't vets can help vets, right? Whatever, we get that. But when it comes to the job position, or well, basically it's a job position because a lot of the stuff it's a job, right? So when it comes to the job position of helping veterans find work, or veterans go back to school, or you know what I'm saying? Like, how are we not hiring vets?
Yeah. I don't understand it either.
I mean, I know there's non-vets that really enjoy helping vets, and I get all that, but I'm telling you, that dude is lucky I didn't come into his office, because just talking to him on the phone, I was like, man, this dude is dumb as hell. How you gonna? You ain't gonna help no one. You can't even help a
And you
civilian, let alone help a vet. And then I
and you
think,
get some like that, or in because they knew somebody that got them a position working in that, but
yeah,
they're just there to grab a paycheck and not actually put in the resources and the help and utilize the resources to help veterans. So
I was kind of mean to one of them too, because I called him, and let's see, I was asking about a position, and this dude was like, he was like, man, I got lucky to get this position. And I was like, I'm sorry? And he was like, yeah, I got lucky to get this position. And I was like, I don't even know what that means, man. He was like, oh, I applied for it through Indeed. And because it was, it's a state job too. It's not just whatever. And he was like, and they don't post on Indeed. They accidentally did. And I was like, okay, that's congratulations. I guess I don't understand how you telling me this is helping with my question. And
it
then he was
doesn't.
like, man, if you would have called 2 months ago, we would have had another position open. And I was like, again, I don't understand how you're helping me right now. Oh, no, I was just trying to make small talk. And I'm like, I didn't call you to make small talk, dude. I called to ask if there's any positions doing what you're doing open that I can apply for. And if not, do you know of any like this elsewhere? That's literally what I called you for. I didn't call you to tell me that you got lucky to get the job because you saw it on Indeed. It's almost like somebody bragging, like, hey, I got this and you didn't because I saw it here first. And it's like, that's
Yeah.
congratulations. Like, I don't give a shit. I just want to know. And then I called the other place, and that's when that guy was like, he was saying something, and I was like, or no, I said, oh, so you got to be a vet in order for this position, right? Because I'm trying to find one that, like, And he was like, no, I'm not a vet, and I got the position, and I was just like, yeah, that is wow. Alrighty, well, thank you. Have a great day, and I hung up. You ain't gonna help me.
Not at all.
I'm sorry. I don't care, and somebody can disapprove of my opinion or not like it or argue about it. But in something like that kind of position, you need to have a vet. You just do,
Oh, most definitely.
because most vets are gonna, you're gonna get your disgruntled vets that come in and they're like, I need a damn job, blah blah blah. And having a non-vet, they're gonna, some of them are gonna be like, wow, he's really rude. I ain't helping him. Other vets like us, we're like, bro, get in line, buddy. You come in here being disgruntled, I'll give it right back to you. I ain't scared.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's just my opinion, and we all know Nate's opinion. So,
Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got them.
and they all stink. Just kidding.
Most of the time, yes.
Mine smells like roses. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Just kidding. But no, I mean, and that's just, it's whatever. It's life, right? So just smoke another
Yep.
one and move on. But no, dude, I mean, like, I want to work, because I want to have more money coming in than what I have, even though I have money that pays my bills and does other things. But I'm not finding anything that I really think meets my standards. And when I call you and I'm like, hey, blah blah blah, and then you just tell me certain things, or like, I called another place, let's see, That was before I had that job that I only worked at for a month. I called him. He told me he'd call me back 2 days later. I mean, here we are in
Wow.
November. I haven't heard from him back. Like, don't tell me you're gonna call me, because he was like, "Oh no, we don't have nothing here, but I think that we, I can talk to a few people and I'll give you a call back in a couple days." I mean, I called him back after 3 days, still heard nothing from them. So it's like you're not helping me. Like I don't know. I just expect if you tell me something that you're gonna do it. Like 9 times out of 10, if I tell somebody I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And majority, and this I say this, majority of people aren't that way anymore, man. And that's how the world's become. That's what society has created is you can say it and not do it, and it'll be okay, because really, why does it matter? You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. That's why we live in the world that we live in. The society is the way it is because no one sticks to what they say. No one. The only time people want to help is if it benefits them. And I'm not saying
Yeah.
everybody, and I'm not saying that this is 100% always happening. I'm saying a majority of the people that help others is because they're expecting to get something back. Like, take yesterday, for example. Yesterday was what?
Veterans Day.
Right. The only day that I take advantage of being a veteran because, well, I like food. But, and
Understandable.
isn't that why we all joined the military and we served? Because we got free food for one day?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yep.
But,
That's what it is.
um,
Sarcastic.
yesterday,
Yeah.
so whatever, we had fun. We went out to eat, we did some things. Um, Texas Roadhouse, I don't know for those of the people watching, and for you, if you have Texas Roadhouse near you, they stepped their game up this year. Usually, you between 11 to 2 on Veterans Day, you drive around, and there's obviously a line, and then you get up to the people, you show them that you're a veteran, and they give you a voucher. And for the last few years, that's what it's been, which is fine. I expect to go to restaurants and be, if I'm not that one guy wearing my uniform on Veterans Day, which we're not going to get into that either because you don't need to do that. But um, check my ID or whatever. Make sure that you're. I'm sure that yesterday there was a bunch of people that took advantage of it if they didn't get ID. You know what I'm saying? I went to a couple of places and they didn't even ask for my ID. Oh, are you a veteran? I am, and they just go with it. Like anybody can say that, man. But anyway, so yesterday evening, like I do like a no every day. I get on Facebook, I swipe just one time, and I let it go through, and wherever it stops, if I find that appealing, I'll look at it. If not, I'll swipe again. Just let it keep going. Well, it ended up stopping in one of the veteran groups that I'm in, and it was a veteran complaining about other veterans and saying, "Let's not dishonor our fellow veterans." Okay, so what the story was about was their son, and I don't care if this is public because it was on Facebook, so it was public anyway. Their son volunteered to go in on his day off to do free oil changes for veterans on Veterans Day, and I think they said over 100 people, 100 veterans came through, and not one of them tipped. And I'm like, I'm confused here. And then that's when they said, fellow vets, let's not dishonor our fellow vets by not tipping. And it's like, wait, what? Well, one, your son went in on a day off. He got paid anyway. And two, why would you? And this leads back to what I was saying. Most people do nice things because they expect something in return. So, how are you a vet knowing that we have one day a year, and you're complaining about other vets not tipping your son because your son chose to go in on a day off to do something kind? Like, that's the world we live in. Like, like I said, majority of people expect something in return for being nice. And then if they don't get anything in return, they either don't talk to that person again, or they don't do anything nice, or they don't help. You know what I'm saying? But like,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. I never in my mind, as a vet or not vet, would be like, oh, well, I helped you, so I expect you to give me something back. Or, hey, I went in on my day off and you know, it happened to be Veterans Day and I helped a bunch of veterans. And none of them tipped me, so I'm mad. Like, what? That's not, that's not the right road to getting unity and kindness. Like, that's just basically saying, well, I helped you, so you give me something in return. And if you don't, I'm not talking to you ever again. Well, okay, bye. That's why Nate's circle is so small.
Yeah, same. I mean, to be services to others is to be a service to yourself. So, I mean, I don't look at being service to others and helping others as, as a way to get paid. You know what I mean?
Oh, right.
Even so, if I feel like I'm helping somebody, that's payment enough. You know what I mean? Because it does something good for the soul,
Yeah.
not for my pocket.
That's what helps my happiness and my well-being is helping others. And
Yep.
I don't care. Like I regardless if I get taken advantage of or whatever, I still do it. That's who I am, and that's who I'm always going to be. And if I'm close with you or we're good friends, then I'm loyal. Like I'm not loyal trying to get something from you. Shit, I don't need anything from nobody, dude. I honestly don't.
Yeah.
Like I don't even take help from my own mama, and that bothers her sometimes too. But that's just me. Like I could be fully down and out and at rock bottom, but you call me and say, "Hey, I need somebody to talk to," and boom, I'm right there. That's just me. And because of the way I am, that's how I notice the way others are. And I have references if anybody needs any, but I'm that type that I can literally read people and pay attention. I pay too close attention to detail. That's the problem. And I can call a spade a spade. I can call a duck a duck if I think that what you're doing is just trying to benefit yourself. Like, I mean, obviously, for certain things, we all try to benefit, right? We Some things we do, we're trying to benefit from. So, like, I'm going to school, and I'm trying to benefit from that because I'm trying to find a position or a career that I want to enjoy, right?
Yep.
That's not a bad thing, but if you're trying to use somebody to benefit yourself, then that's when it's like, all right, so like you either
What
need
was
to
the
fix
real
that.
motive there?
Yeah, and that's what I pay attention to the most. And yeah, there's a lot of people in this world, I'm telling you, you like
Oh,
at
you're
first they're
absolutely
good at
right.
covering up that they're trying to benefit by being nice and doing nice or whatever, but like they say, true colors always shine, man. And I'm the one that catches them real quick. And it pisses a lot of people off because they're like, well, you don't give the benefit of the doubt, and it's no, I already gave the benefit of the doubt. That benefit of the doubt came to fact, and now I'm telling you facts. You don't want to believe it, that's on you. You want to believe it, okay, well, let me show you. But the world just needs
Yeah.
to change, man. The world needs to change. The shit's just getting old and tiring, and no wonder I like to be
Absolutely.
retired and
I
sitting in
agree.
my house
I don't. I
smoking all
don't
the
blame
time.
you.
Jesus.
There's a, there's a few days that just opening up my email before I even get to work. It's like it's gonna be one of those days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
But you still enjoy
I
it though, right?
yeah, no, you can absolutely enjoy what you do to help others without having to enjoy who you have to work with all the time.
Yes, and I try to tell
Um,
people that because like I said, I tried out the position I was doing. I was trying to get over it, but you can only, well, one, you have to, myself. I didn't have to work. I chose to work, so I was just like, all right, well, I could just sit back and just be like whatever, but nah, I don't want to be here anyway. So, and like when I left, I gave him a letter of resignation and put in there the exact reason and the exact person and people. And yeah, Yeah, yeah. I remember they tried to
Oh,
get a
so
hold
they
of
knew the
me.
problem as soon as you left.
Yeah,
They knew what the problem was.
yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Even though they tried to call me and email me for more information, and I emailed, I sent them an email back, and I was like, my letter of resignation tells you, ask others, and that was it. And I haven't, obviously never heard back from them, but it's just this world is just crazy. I think everybody just needs to smoke.
I mean, whatever helps people, I'm all for. You know what I'm saying?
And I think more vets need to run for office.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, speaking of which, elections just ended, so yeah, there's a lot of people that need to, especially if you're going to work in the organizations or serve those who have served.
Right.
They ought to have been through that whole system before they can be of service or be put in position to
Right.
run those things. So, like, if you're going to be the secretary of the Veterans Administration, you have better been through the Veterans Administration to know what you're getting ready to try to fix.
Right. Well, and I mean, I fully agree. How can you? That's like, well, when I was deployed, one of the people, one of our E6s, his for it, he hadn't even been to the actual training for the MOS and the unit that I was with. He hadn't even been to training for that, and they had him in charge, telling people what to do. And I'm like, man, you're not
That's
even qualified, bro.
Yeah, and that's all political, but
Oh, I know.
we can
We don't want to
that's
get into all
definitely a
that.
different episode.
That one will get us banned.
Whole
We don't want.
lengthy
Yeah, no,
episode
I
on
don't know. We
political.
may not even do that episode. That might get us banned.
Yeah, that very
But
well
I
might.
I think I think in the long run, you're doing good. I'm doing good. Like even though we haven't done an episode in 6 months, or we've only communicated with a hey, you good? Yeah, I'm good. You good? Yeah. Like we've done what we're supposed to do, though, right? That's as
Yeah,
veterans and as brothers and in arms and things like that. That's what we're supposed to do. IGY6. That's what that means. I got your six. Um, but doing this episode and not even really like we weren't even really talking about much. Talked about ourselves, some things, some other things. You know what I'm saying? Like these types of episodes. And maybe once we start doing more people will start coming in, and we can start getting some interaction. People start talking about this or that. But all in all, as long as you're good and the people out there are good, then I'm good,
same.
man. And I also think that more people need to smoke, because the happier the people, the happier the world. Oh, then
This
we
is
can all
Nate's
just
endorsement for it.
yes, yes. Please sponsor me, because Blue Chew hasn't called us. So,
Yeah,
but
get on the ball,
um,
Blue Chew.
I think our next episode, though, I think we need to get serious with it. And I'm saying this
Yeah,
so that way
absolutely.
everybody can hear, because I'm kind of trying to say that like the next episode I want to kind of do it and talk about the certain things that we didn't really talk about right now, because um, that's just this episode wasn't for that. But I think for those out there listening, veteran or not, because this topic that I kind of want to talk about in the next episode is for everyone. Um, yes, we're going to talk more about veterans and dealing with it, or service members and dealing with it, but it's about everybody. And I think that's divorce. I think we need to start talking about that, and the certain things that how as veterans, and how in general that it's going to, like how to not overcome it, because you can't really overcome it, I guess, but how
Just
to
get
deal
through
with
it.
it and get through with it. And I mean, I've been divorced twice, so um but that's something that needs to be talked about, because regardless of, fuck, it's easy. Like some of us, my second divorce it was whatever. Like it happened, I was cool with it, whatever. But in deep inside and emotionally and mentally, like it still can be a burden. It can still be hard because like your whole, your life is now flipping back over. So it's like transitioning
Yeah,
from the military to the civilian world, because what you're used to in the military doesn't happen in the civilian world. So that, for
absolutely.
everybody listening and for myself, that's, I think, and I'm gonna try for that one. I'm gonna try to have some like statistics and some research too, so that way we can have a factual talk as well. But
Yeah,
other
no,
than that, I think to I think for now we've kind of touched on everything that we wanted to talk about today, and
yeah,
unfortunately, we're still not sponsored by Blue Chew. So if anybody in Michigan that deals with, you know, the very helpful herb wants to sponsor us, we'll be okay with that too. Please reach out. Um,
yeah.
I don't care how
I'll
you
make
reach
sure
out.
my
Um,
share goes directly to Nate
do you have an if you have an
for the time being.
ambassador program? I'm more than happy to join that. Send me some trials. I'll be happy with that too. I'm just kidding, but I'm not at the same time. So
Yeah, and then I think next episode, if we get enough people that are interested in the poll on Spotify is up, and it'll be on this episode as well as Riverside, the program we use here. It offers an ability to have audiences in the show, so I might toy with that. So if you're interested, drop an email or a message to us, and we get you the link for the next episode when we do that one. Um, we'll send it out, tweet it out,
yeah,
have
yeah,
a little bit
and
of audience in the.
right, and veteran or not, I mean, obviously there's going to be some things that are not non-veteran, isn't going to be to relate to. But if we're basing this episode on certain things, I mean, anybody can reach out. Like just let us know, and should we could have we could do part of the episode with a non-veteran and a part of the episode with a veteran. I mean, I don't care. Just I think that'd be helpful though. That's what I think.
So you want to shoot for that episode on the 19th, which is next Sunday, or what do you got going on?
I'm retired, bro. What do you mean? What I got going on?
All
I
right,
got a whole lot of
everybody
nothing.
tune in on the 19th.
Yeah, we'll be here the 19th. Uh,
As always, appreciate everybody that came in, hung out with us to the show. Love and appreciate everybody. Share with your friends. Check us out on Spotify. All the major. Thanks,
oh,
Beans. Appreciate
thanks,
you.
Beans.
Yeah, definitely share everything on. We're on Spotify and all the major podcasting platforms. And yeah, if you're interested, hit that Q&A up as soon as the episode is up, and let us know if you want to actually be in the studio audience, which I think would be a cool feature to play around with.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're gonna start doing more episodes, so I mean, we need to
Yeah,
make sure we start putting out more, and I'm gonna get on that too, since again I'm retired and I don't do much anyway.
thanks, Ghost. Appreciate you. Everybody
Oh,
have a good
ghosty.
evening.
All right, y'all. We will talk
I'll
to
catch you
y'all
later,
later.
man.